What happens to the soul of a child who dies without baptism? A mother holds her newborn in her arms. Before she can even take the child to church, death comes suddenly. Her heart breaks. She looks up to heaven and asks, "Lord, where is my baby now?" This question has haunted parents for centuries, and it gave rise to one of the most mysterious, forgotten teachings in Catholic history, a place called Limbo. Not heaven, not hell, not even purgatory, but something in between, the edge of eternity. Tonight we will journey into this forgotten reality, what limbo is, why the Church once taught it, and why the question still matters today. This is not just history. This is about salvation, about eternity, about the mercy of God. What is limbo? Origin of the word. Limbo comes from the Latin limbus, equals edge or border. Limbo was never declared as official dogma. Instead, it was a theological theory developed to answer difficult questions. The idea: where do souls go who are not guilty of personal sin, but also not cleansed of original sin? The Church has always taught two truths. One, that no one can enter heaven without God's grace. Two, that God is merciful and just, never cruel or unfair. But what happens when these two truths collide? That's where the idea of limbo emerged. Two kinds of limbo. Limbo of the fathers, for holy men and women before Christ. Limbo of the infants, for unbaptized babies. Limbo of the fathers. Before Christ's death and resurrection, even the righteous could not enter heaven. Abraham, Moses, David, the prophets, all were held in a state of waiting. This is called the limbo of the fathers, or Abraham's bosom. Jesus himself spoke of it. The poor man died and was carried by the angels to Abraham's bosom. Luke 16:22. The Apostles' Creed tells us he descended into hell. This does not mean Christ suffered in hellfire. It means he entered this realm of waiting, this limbo. And there, he proclaimed freedom. On Holy Saturday, Christ shattered the gates. The souls of the just were lifted into heaven. Limbo of the fathers came to them. The question remained, what about the infants? Limbo of the infants. The harder question, what about babies who died without baptism? The Church has always declared, unless one is born of water and spirit, he cannot enter the kingdom of God. John 3:5. Baptism is necessary, but what of those who never had the chance? St. Augustine, 4th to 5th century. Harsh view. Unbaptized infants cannot enter heaven. Spoke of them suffering the mildest punishment of hell. St. Thomas Aquinas, 13th century. Softer view. They do not suffer torment. They live in natural happiness, joy, peace, no pain, but without the beatific vision. Quote Aquinas, "They have the full enjoyment of natural goods, but lack the supernatural vision of God." Imagine children playing in a meadow, laughter, joy, peace, yet their eyes always turned upward, toward a heaven they cannot enter. This is how many in the Middle Ages understood limbo of the infants. For centuries, this was common teaching. Catechisms, sermons, theologians all spoke of it. Parents feared, what if my child dies before baptism? The Church today. Here is the truth. The Church has never formally declared limbo as doctrine. It was a widespread theory, but never an infallible teaching. The Catechism today, CCC 1261, says, as regards children who have died without baptism, the Church can only entrust them to the mercy of God. Notice, no condemnation, no certainty of limbo, but hope in God's mercy. In 2007, the International Theological Commission wrote, There are theological and liturgical grounds to hope that unbaptized infants will be saved and brought into eternal happiness. So the Church does not deny limbo ever existed as a theory, but it now emphasizes something greater. God's mercy is not bound by the sacraments. Why limbo still matters shows the tension of justice versus mercy. Reminds us baptism is urgent and not to be delayed. Comforts grieving parents. The Church does not teach babies are damned. Calls us to trust God with what we cannot explain. Limbo may be forgotten, but the question it raises is eternal. What does it mean to belong to God? What does it mean to be saved? We may not know the exact fate of unbaptized children, but we know this: God is just, God is merciful, and His love is greater than our fears. Parents weep, children are lost, the mystery remains. But in the end, we entrust them to a Father who loves them infinitely more than we do. So tonight, pray for all the little ones, the unborn, the miscarried, the unbaptized. Place them in God's hands and whisper, "Lord, I trust in your mercy." Because heaven is real, eternity is real, and our God is love. If this teaching opened your eyes, help spread the truth. Like this video, share it, and subscribe for more Catholic teachings. And in the comments, write, "Lord, I trust in your mercy." Together, we keep faith alive and prepare for eternity.